Hi everybody, and welcome to my channel. And here are my predictions for this weekend's Premiership matches. Let's start with Luton versus Tottenham. Well, Luton got their first win of the season last weekend. They beat Everton 2-1. I think the Luton fans got a little bit excited about the fact that they won, but they were soon brought down to earth with a bump on Tuesday night when they played Burnley, and Burnley beat them by the same score, 2-1. Well, tomorrow they've got a rather tough match against tougher opponents. That's Tottenham. I'm afraid Luton won't find it so easy against them, but you never know with the Premiership. Tottenham could turn up and have a poor match, and Luton could spring a surprise and beat them, but I don't think they will. Luton so far have won 1 and lost 5, drawn 1. Tottenham, they've won 5 and they haven't lost 1 yet and drawn 2. Well, of course, last weekend Tottenham were involved in a controversial match with Liverpool when Liverpool had a goal ruled out by VAR. That VAR is causing a lot of trouble this season, with one decision after another, whether they're offside or not or whatever. Gone are the days when the referee was ruled if a goal was allowed or not, or the player was offside. But since this VAR has been introduced, it's caused nothing but trouble and controversy. Anyway, Tottenham, like I said, have won 5 and they haven't lost any. Luton at the moment are 17th and Tottenham are 2nd. This one I'm going to go for Luton 1, Tottenham 5. I'm going to go for Tottenham to win 5-1. Burnley versus Chelsea. Well, Burnley and another team are in trouble. They're 18th. And of course Chelsea, they are 11th and they won on Monday night against Fulham. You can see why Burnley are struggling like they are. They've won 1, lost 5 and drawn 1. And well, Chelsea are not doing any better for all the money they've spent on players during the transfer window in the summer. They've won 2, lost 3, and they've drawn 2. This one I'm going to go for Burnley 0, Chelsea 2. Chelsea to beat Burnley 2-0. Everton versus Bournemouth. Well, before last weekend's game against Luton, Everton won a couple of matches. Unfortunately, they were back to square one again, I'm afraid, Everton, losing to Luton last Saturday. It looks like it's going to be a long, hard season for them, I'm afraid, Everton. But of course, there's still a long way to go yet. As for Bournemouth, well, everybody predicted that Bournemouth would struggle this season, and it looks like they're going to. Of course, they lost to Arsenal last Saturday. I did predict at the start of the season that Bournemouth would struggle, And like everybody else did, it looks like it's going to happen. It looks like it's going to be a long, hard season of struggle for them this season. I suppose probably come towards the end of the season, they will probably manage to survive. They usually do, Bournemouth do, but we shall see what happens. Of course, Everton at the moment, they've only won 1, lost 5, drawn 1. Bournemouth have yet to win a match, and they've lost 4, drawn 3. You can see why both these teams are struggling at the start of the season. This one I'm going to go for Everton. Everton 2, Bournemouth 1. Although saying that, Bournemouth will probably go and beat Everton tomorrow, the way Everton are playing, but I'm going to stick with Everton to win. Fulham versus Sheffield United. Of course, Sheffield United are bottom. Fulham, they are 13th, and they're not having such a good start to the season as they did last season. As for Sheffield United, well, everybody said that Sheffield United would go right down again, and it looks like they're going to. Of course, a few weeks ago, they was unlucky against Tottenham. And of course, after that, the following weekend, they went, Newcastle put out past them, so I'm afraid it's going to be a long, hard season for poor old Sheffield United. I think going to go right down again unless they can bring in a few players in the January transfer window when it opens. Anyway, Fulham have won 2, lost 3, and drawn 2. Sheffield United, well, they haven't won 1, and they've lost 6. You can see why I'm struggling. Anyway, I'm going to go for Fulham. Fulham 2, Sheffield United 0. Manchester United versus Brentford. Man United at the moment are 10th, and Brentford are 14th. I don't know what's going on at Manchester United at the moment. Having a terrible start to the season. How Erik ten Hag is still clinging on to his job. He's just clinging on by his fingertips, I think. Sooner or later, Manchester United are going to have to decide what they're going to do with him. Surely the Manchester United owners and board are not going to put up with these results much longer, the way things are going. Of course, Manchester United lost in the Champions League in midweek. And Manchester United, well, you can see why they're in the position they am. They've won 3, lost 4. Brentford, well, they're not doing too well this season. They're 14th at the moment. They've only won 1, lost 2, and they've drawn 4. But I suppose as the season progresses, come towards the end of the season, Brentford will probably finish where they did last season, in maybe about 9th, 10th or 9th. That's where they'll finish. They've got no worries about being dragged into a relegation fight. Anyway, I'm going to go for Manchester United 0, Brentford 2. I think Brentford will beat Manchester United tomorrow. More problems for Erik ten Hag. Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest. Crystal Palace at the moment are 9th and Forest are 12th. Crystal Palace have won 3, lost 2 and drawn 2, whereas Forest, they've won 2, lost 3, and drawn 2. This one, Forest are not going to, won't make it easy for Crystal Palace tomorrow. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a draw. I think it's going to be, although saying that, I think Crystal Palace will want to play a bit better. But it's going to be a tight game. I'm going to go for Crystal Palace 2, Forest 2. I'm going to go for a 2-2. Brighton versus Liverpool. Well, Brighton were soundly thrashed by Villa last weekend, 6-1. And of course Liverpool were involved in that match with Tottenham, that controversial goal that was disallowed. It was offside, but it wasn't. Brighton, they won 5, lost 2. Whereas Liverpool have won 5 and they've lost 1. And at the moment, Brighton are 6th and Liverpool, they are 4th. I think Liverpool are going to have some luck sooner or later with this VAR. So I'm going to go for them to beat Brighton tomorrow. I'm going to go for Brighton 1, Liverpool 2. Liverpool to win 2-1. West Ham versus Newcastle. West Ham at the moment, they are 7th. Newcastle are below them in 8th. This should be an interesting match, this should be. Both these teams won in Europe. West Ham won last night, and Newcastle, well, they got a great result against PSG. And West Ham have won 4, lost 2, drawn 1. Newcastle won 4, lost 3. I suppose the Newcastle fans will be getting excited because they beat one of the so-called better teams, PSG. Well, obviously they're not. If Newcastle can beat them, anybody can beat them. But Newcastle fans, you know, you don't want to get too excited about chances of winning the Champions League. I wouldn't get too excited about it because I do say that you're not good enough to win it. Prove me wrong. Go all the way and, to the final. But I don't think so. You'll make the group stage, the knockout stages, but that'll be as far as you go. Once you start the knockout stages, then I'm afraid your European, your Champions League adventure will come to an end. Anyway, so this match I'm going to go for a draw, I think. I'm going to go for West Ham 1, Newcastle 1. Wolves versus Villa. Well, Wolves beat Manchester City last weekend. That was a surprise. I did predict that Manchester City would beat Wolves. That's one prediction I got wrong. And Villa, of course, they put 6 past Brighton last Saturday. And of course, Villa are going well at the moment. I did say at the start of the season I thought that Wolves would have a struggle this season, and now looks like they're going to. At the moment, Wolves are 15th, and of course Villa are 5th. Where will Villa finish this season? Will they finish there this season? I wouldn't be surprised. Because the teams in the one or two of the teams are not going to find it easy against Villa. I think Villa will probably surprise a few teams this season. Anyway, Wolves have won 2, lost 4. Villa, they won 5, lost 2. This one I'm going to go for Villa. Wolves 0, Villa 2. I'm going to go for 2-0 to Villa. And finally, Sunday's match, Arsenal versus Manchester City. Well, Arsenal beat Bournemouth last weekend, but they lost in the Champions League on Tuesday night. And of course, Manchester City won their match. Manchester and Arsenal at the moment, they are third, and of course Manchester City are top. I think there might be some. I think there'll be a response from Manchester City on Sunday, but it's going to be a close match to call. This Arsenal have won 5, and they haven't lost any yet. Manchester City have won 6, lost 1. Of course, Manchester City usually beat Arsenal. This one going to be a close match. I'm going to go for Arsenal 1, Manchester City 3. I'm going to go for Manchester City to win 3-1 like they did last season. Well, anyway, that's the end of my predictions for this weekend's Premiership matches. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all again in another video. But of course, I shan't see you all again next week because of the international break. I don't know how many more international breaks we're going to have, but we got another one. And I'll see you all again after that one.